President Trump is still pushing to overturn his November loss in the state, and he's pulling the Republican Senate candidates into the fray. Incumbents Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue are backing the president in his feud with Republican Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger after the Washington Post released this audio of their call from the weekend.
I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have, because we won the state. The people of Georgia are angry. The people of the country are angry. And there's nothing wrong with saying that, that you've recalculated.
Natalie Jennings joins me now with more. She's a national political reporter for The Washington Post. Natalie, welcome. Thanks for joining us. CBS News has confirmed that this was one of at least 18 attempted calls from the White House to Secretary Raffensperger. What was the reaction when The Washington Post obtained that hour-long recording?
There was tremendous interest across the political spectrum. I think you saw this really brought together a lot of things that are going on. This is happening about the presidential election while these Georgia Senate races are happening. It sort of brought everything together and has really set off among Republicans a more public rift over the Trump attempts to overturn the election than we have seen thus far. The fallout has been pretty striking.
Well, there have been a lot of accusations flying around about the source of this audio. Republican incumbent David Perdue accused Secretary Raffensperger, calling the release of the tape, quote, disgusting. So at this point, what do we actually know about where the audio came from?
All right. My colleague, Amy Gardner, is who broke that story. She did not reveal her sources, and we wouldn't want to get into that. But there is a lot of sniping over the release of it. The fact that it got released, Secretary Raffensperger has said he didn't know the call was being recorded. But then he also said that it would have been kept private. He said this in several interviews, if it were not for President Trump having tweeted about the call taking place. He said that that is what breached the confidentiality element of the call. So he did not express any regret over it being called. And then, of course, it got sort of personal between Raffensperger and his fellow elected officials in Georgia who are on the ballot this week.
Well, we also learned today that the lawyer on that call with President Trump, Cleta Mitchell, is resigning from her law firm following her participation on that call. What has the broader fallout been?
Right. Mitchell is someone with a big roster of Republican clients, but someone who hasn't been so closely associated with President Trump and these efforts. So the fact that this person, who is not maybe a household name, but is very well known in Republican circles in Washington, is out of her current firm, reflects sort of where the momentum is going on this. There's a lot of Republicans, I guess you would say establishment Republicans, who don't want to be associated with these efforts or with her. You're seeing more people in the business community. More came out today saying the Senate should vote tomorrow to certify the election results and sort of looking beyond past President Trump. But we see that President Trump is still very much stuck, and this tape was a very raw look into how convinced he is of his own standing in this, how affirmative he was, and this is just in one state, so we don't know what he's doing with officials in other states, trying to sort of still push this issue and act as if he has a chance to do this. We know that Republican senators, about a dozen or so of them, are going to back him up tomorrow on this, and we continue to see the fallout among the Republican Party on this, and we will for some time, I think.
All right, Natalie Jennings from The Washington Post. Natalie, thanks very much for being with us.
Thank you.